Hello, everyone. Welcome to another office hours from the Kairos team. We have some updates for you. Um, but let's start by saying hi. Hey, how's it going, Dimitri?
Hi, Mauro. Hi, everybody. All good. We had a wonderful last week. It's probably the most interesting week of the year, I'd say.
I think the same. Is like I'm waiting the entire year to do Hackweek because it's really like letting your ideas and your brain go crazy, right? That's cool. So as part of it, we're going to share a little bit the projects that we worked on. Obviously, nothing is production ready. It's all just toy projects at the moment, but that doesn't mean that they will not end up in some cases as part of Kairos. Just a quick announcement, 3.5 was released, which include the operator. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just check the previous office hours where we did a demo on the operator. And having said that, I give you the floor, Dimitris. What did you work on this hack week?
Yeah. Uh, so, like you said, I mean, it's a week to play with things that are not top priority. They're not in the priority list, you know. Uh, but I had that in mind for a while. I mean, there are two flavors in Kairos. It's the core images, what we call them, and the standard ones. When you get the standard ones, you get Kubernetes with it, and automatically, because Kubernetes, you get a cluster. So the nodes become part of a cluster. And now with the operator that you mentioned, you can also manage those. And it's all fine, right? But what I always found a little annoying is that when you spin up just Kairos machines with no Kubernetes on top, I mean, we do have people deploying other workloads on Kairos. There is no notion of a cluster. They're just
Yeah.
completely separate. They don't know of each other. You cannot manage them or anything. And I wanted to kind of fix that with a very lightweight layer. Um, of course, I didn't make it to the end, but we have something that we can work on. So I based it on Edge VPN. Maybe we should share some links here, or maybe I can share my screen and show where these
Yeah.
projects are for people that don't know. So wait a minute, that's my screen. Do you see my screen?
Yep.
Alrighty, so we have Edge VPN. Not yet. We have it there. So it's a project by Ettore, um, and you can already use it in Kairos. Using the Kairos config, enable it. We use it in one of the modes to automatically configure the cluster and things like that. But it has a nice feature called services, where you can create a service in the Edge VPN, and then you can bind it to some port on one side, some other port on the other side, and make the nodes talk to each other. For example, you can expose the SSH port of one node to every other node, and then they can bind it to a local port and connect to it like tunneling.
Mhm.
But it works with the peer-to-peer and all. So with HVPN, you already get some kind of clusterization, right? You have a network, they get IP addresses. Also, HVPN has an API and allows you to discover them to see which nodes you have there. There was already a nice base ground to build something on top. And that's what I did. I just didn't want to expose any services. So I didn't want, for example, users to have to set up SSH or anything like that. And I didn't want SSH to be an exposed service anyway, because that's not part of what I was trying to achieve. So I connected directly the HVPN stream to an API. So I created a little API. Actually, I should probably show other than tell, just to understand, because the demo won't make much sense. I created an API, so you spin it up. You spin up the server on your nodes. Ideally, this could be maybe a bundle in Kairos at some point. And then you spin up your client. And the idea was you get something like a dashboard. So I'll show you how far I got with this. Um, so here what I'm doing is I'm just setting my HVPN token. That's the only credentials you need to connect to the VPN, to the HVPN. I'm going to do everything locally, but because it's HVPN, it could work on any machine no matter where they are. So I'm running the binary in server mode. It has just two commands: the top level, which is the client, and a sub command, which is the server. And here I'm manually defining the service. It doesn't have to be so. I just started with this, but it could just, have a prefix, predefined prefix, and start something with the host name of the node. But here I'm explicitly defining it. So I'm spinning up the server. Um, yeah, it starts the VPN. If you're familiar with the logs from Edge VPN, that's exactly what it does. So on another terminal here, I'm going to start the client. So the command is similar. I just don't need to pass anything in, um, only the token. So
No,
it's
it's already.
yeah, yeah, it's based on what is it called, Bubble Tea, I think, the
Yeah,
library for Golang.
that's pretty cool. Yeah, like this terminal user interface or
Mhm.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. You have logs when you hit L, so you can toggle the logs, you can see what's going on. And at some point, it should show a node, this node actually. Um,
This always takes a bit because SVPN is setting up not only the network, but it also has a ledger
mhm,
where it keeps track of all the nodes, and the ledger gets distributed across all the different nodes. So there's a lot
yeah,
happening there.
yeah. And since you mentioned it, one could actually monitor that by doing this, not exactly. Uh, Yeah, I'm in the wrong directory. Kairosadm. If you just spin up the regular HVPN, you could actually use the uh, HVPN API, and you could. I need to be sudo. Sorry, there you are. And then you could actually. Ah, it was already open. And you can see the services popping up here.
Mhm.
Hopefully.
And
Come on.
you see any nodes? Does it
Nah.
start only services or also nodes?
Uh, Oh no no, you should see everything. You see,
There it is.
yeah, the service is there. You can also check nodes. We only
Oh
see
yeah.
one node. You can see the whole blockchain, what is written there, like services, machines, and there's an API endpoint to get this as a JSON as well from this. There it is. It came up. Okay. It took a while. So okay, it just lists it. It lists the node, but one thing to notice is that we got details from my machine actually here, and that was made with a request. So it's not just discovering these nodes. You don't see this information here. After it discovered the node, it created a connection to it, and sent an API request to get back the host's details. Um, I could spin up another one. That shouldn't take too long if I do that again. Do that again with the same command, but different name for the service. For example, uh, I could say other node here. And if I go back here, it will pop up. So there's a lot happening here. It discovered the nodes. It will discover the second one in a second. And it made an API request. So that already shows that we can run things. Now, what we run on the nodes is up to us. Uh, the idea was you could perform Kairos agent kind of operations, like you could say upgrade my node or put something in the queue. You can actually write to the ledger here, and you could create something like the desired state. You could say, hey, this node should run this Kairos version. Um, and then you could do something like what you do with the operator, right? You could describe your
Mm.
desired state of the let's say cluster, and the nodes find it in the ledger and upgrade themselves. So you could somehow monitor and manage your Kairos nodes without even having Kubernetes on top. But for now there's nothing Kairos specific to it. For some reason it takes longer this time. Uh,
Are you passing to use only like no DHT? Because otherwise the network takes a lot longer.
uh, Maybe that's it. But we did the same demo in the morning, and yeah,
Yeah, it was
thankfully
fun.
one of the
It depends on the peer-to-peer network. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Other node is not even there. Yeah, it's not even connecting. They specify the token correctly. I'm not sure. My token, but yeah, that's it. I mean, it does pop up. It doesn't do anything more than that. It's just one more line. And we would like to hear from people what they think, if they find this useful, how they would like it to be extended, if at all. But that's what I played with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool because I feel that one of the challenges when you're dealing with nodes in a cluster um, is that sometimes you are in a machine but want to interact with a different machine. And especially if you're using the VPN, you have to first figure out which IP is that machine, SSH into it. Then you realize, oh no, it's not the same, the right one, whatever. So if we have kind of like a centralized way of interacting with them, I think it's fantastic. Or maybe even a way to tell them all to act in a certain way, even better, right? Like the operator. That's super cool, I
Mhm,
think.
mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Very good Hackweek project, in my opinion. Now I'll share about mine. How can I share here? Maybe my full screen. No. It's like it's the first time I use this. Okay. There. Don't judge by all the amount of tabs, please.
Mhm.
All
Take it.
right. I was working on I don't know, we talked about the Aurora boot now has this functionality called web UI that you can spin up, and it's kind of like a very nice, easy way to just go and do select which system you want, what kind of version you want in it, if you want Kubernetes or not, etc., etc. And that's all cool, but you also want to automate these, and like you want that for humans, but for machines, of course, we want something that we can put in the pipelines. And up until now, that for us looked like this. We have our workflows, for example, whenever we're going to be doing, let's say in master, we have all this workflow which determines all the different matrix of distributions and with Kubernetes, without Kubernetes, etc., and the kind of tests that we're going to run on them. Is already a lot to take, but this is minimal compared to if you go deep here and see um, how we actually build those images. Then you start seeing the complexity of this, everything that has to be going. And it's not that it is too uh, complex itself, it's just that it is a lot to take. And we know that asking people to build these pipelines from day one is a lot. And just copy pasting our pipeline is not really a solution because it's very customized for us. So the idea was to have something in the Kairos factory that makes it very easy for everyone to use, and that's where the Kairos factory action came. Obviously, this only works on GitHub, but I don't know. We're more than happy to take contributions for any other than GitHub. We created a GitHub one because it's what we all use in team. And the way this works is that all that complexity or all that code that I showed previously, it's here where it will, depending on the parameters that you pass, it will decide what kind of image to build. For example, it will log into a registry. If you pass information, it will build the image. It will run security scans. All of this is configurable if you want. I mean, except for the building of the image, that should always happen. If you want ISO artifacts, if you want raw artifacts, etc., etc. This is not completely finished, but at least the basic setup for AMD ISO artifacts is working correctly, and the way it looks once it's in use. is if we have something like uh, right here, the way it looks is first of all, oh wait, first of all you have to set up in your workflow, um, HDR, is the use of the Kairos factory. And then you pass it what kind of images you want to run it with, and you can customize, for example, if you need to white label some things. In our case, of course, it's called Kairos, but if you want to name it something different, you can name it something different. Here, it still looks a little bit complex. If you see it on my own uh, home lab, which this is the big reason why I started playing with all of this. I wanted to have my own home lab and build those images. Then you start seeing really how simple it is. This is all you need to add to your pipeline. And now I am going to have automatically Ubuntu images that I can simply download from here, for example. So this is the build summary so that I can properly tell, okay, this is the kind of image I was building here. And in order to download it, I can just click here and I get my image. So if you want to get started building images, automating this flow, please use the Kairos factory and give us feedback. If it works for you, oops, I think I lost it. If it works for you, if it's missing something, we try to make it as customizable as possible. But yeah, it's not one size fits all, right? Like, and you can, it's all open source, so you can obviously open a PR with your recommendations. And that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, I did find it very, very useful, and we had lots of requests from people every now and then. So, I mean, Kairos has its own cadence in releasing, and usually that's not defined by upstream fixes on packages and things like that, because we usually release when our team has fixed something or has created something new. That doesn't mean we keep all the images maintained. And people ask, oh, there are fixes on, for example, upstream Ubuntu. When can I get a new image, right? This way, you need zero infra. I mean, I understand we have Aurora boot and all, but that needs
Mhm.
someone to set up something on their own infra, things like that. But with this one, you just get it for free. You spin up a repo in GitHub, you trigger every, I don't know, you can do it every day if you want, and you get fresh images all the time, and you can even automate your upgrades with their operator, for example, right? So I think
Exactly.
this is awesome. um, and just to
Nice, nice.
mention, the other interesting part is that you talked about the web UI, our CI, this action, all of them use the same backend. I mean, they're not reinventing the wheel. They're all using the CLI version of Aurora Boot, which is the factory. But there are different interfaces to interact with it just to make it simpler. So it's not different. The artifacts you get are built the same way, no matter which solution you choose, which interface.
Correct. Yeah. So yeah, let's hope that this reduces the barrier. I think one of the biggest challenges when talking with people about immutability and immutable OSs, I mean, it's this concept that you have to split your release into a build of the images and the runtime of the images. And I think that comes mainly from the fact that it's a lot of work to be building images, right? Like you have to take so many things into account, and it's a boring process, right? Like we're so used to administrate our own machines where we just say, okay, add package, remove package, etc., and that is so easy. But obviously you don't have all the benefits that immutability brings to the table. But if we manage to reduce the um, kind of like the investment you have to do to get up to speed and fast building images, I think people are going to find it easy enough that they can adopt it in more projects than what they have right now. So let's hope that this is useful for everyone, and please give us feedback on the project. One last mention, Itxaka is not here, but he worked on a very cool project. I just want to show very quickly the logo of his project and explain a little bit what it is, because I think the logo is fantastic. Where is it? It's here. Nice. Kairos must burn. What is it? It's basically ISO burner or USB burner, whatever. And it's very easy to use. It's cross-platform. It will automatically download releases of Kairos. And you can select, like one of these Balena Etcher or the Raspberry Pi image burner, something like that. But Kairos focused, and we hope that will also lower the barrier into getting into Kairos. We hope you liked the projects we did this hack week.
Well, we did one more, but we don't talk about it, right?
There's
Secret
top
one.
secret stuff.
Yeah, but eventually people might see that too. Let's hope.
Yeah, indeed. There's so much room for things to do. It's just crazy.
Awesome. Should we also talk quickly about when people can meet us in person? What opportunities they
Yep.
have? We have Frostcon coming up
Yep.
in Germany, the open source conference in St. Augustine, if I pronounce that correctly, near Cologne, and that's in the 16th and 17th of August. That's a weekend. If anyone is around, you can find us. I don't exactly know the how the place looks. I've never been there, but we have a desk, we have a table, and you will see Kairos logos and all, and I will be there. So yeah, reach out if you're there.
Super
And
nice.
I'm not sure if
Yeah.
we have any other conferences, Mauro. Are you not yet?
Yeah, we have also KCD Porto coming. That's up until November. So we will probably remind you when that is closer. And we have also been accepted to KubeCon NA, but only to a lightning talk. We hope that we will see also, we will get also a booth for the project pavilion, but again, we have to confirm. And other things that are still in the pipeline, we'll see when they happen. So if you are coming to any of these events, St. Augustine Frostcon, or the other way around, Frostcon in St. Augustine, or KCD Porto, and want to reach out, please do. It would be lovely to talk to you about Kairos.
Yep.
All right. I think that's pretty much it. It's a low season in Europe. I feel everywhere I go is like super quiet at the moment. So, but yeah, we still think this is a valuable way to give you some information, because then you can see it again when you're back at the office. You don't have to check this right now. But yeah, reach out with any feedback that you have, whether it is around this project or about Kairos, and we'll see you on the next office hours.
See you. Thanks, Mauro.
Ciao, ciao. Have a good
Bye.
one.
Bye.